Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima, and I'm here checking out Xeno Crisis for the 5th time. Because this game is a technical nightmare to record. Because of multiple reasons which I won't get into just yet, but if you want a sort of me-style rant, just wait until later on in the video. Even then, I don't even know if this configuration is going to work very well, but it's literally the only one I've gotten that hasn't tried to screw me in some way, so... In the options menu, you can change a few things. You've got difficulty, easy and hard, full screen and vibration, for the controller of course. You have the ability to turn off the music, the sounds, and the announcer. You can't vary them, but the mix is generally okay. This is actually a sound test, if you were wondering. Heads-up display stuff, including stats, names, and messages. Stats and messages are usually pretty useful to keep on, but names... Well, names are kind of immersion breaking, as you might see when we get into the game, but that's because this game was actually kickstarted, so yeah, they needed to have a little bit of a back reward along those lines, didn't they? You got your controls here. I mean, they're decent enough controls for a keyboard-based twin-stick shooter, but then again, keyboard-based twin-stick shooter. You might as well shoot yourself. You've also got controller controls here. Now, I want to rant about how badly this has screwed me over, so I'll do that as soon as I show you the language menu and the fact that when you hit any one of the particular languages, it shows you the intro cutscene again and starts you from the very top of the menu. So here's why this game's a bit of a pain in the ass to record. First time I tried to record it, man, I tried playing it on the DualShock 4, but I lost 2 continues in the first stage. And you only get 3 for the most part, because the dodge button on a DualShock 4 doesn't actually activate until you press the trigger all the way down, because screw you, right? So any split-second dodges that you might hope to do get absolutely ruined by this concept. Bit of a pain in the ass. So for the second take, I tried to swap to an Xbox 360 controller. Did not work, would not let me pass the menu. Third take, I tried to plug a DualShock 4 back in, did the recording again, got about 25 minutes in on a good run. My sound had been turned off because Windows likes to swap the main audio device to the headset jack on the DualShock 4. My DualShock 4 is now, and I wish I wasn't kidding, in pieces next to my wall, because I fucking hate the DualShock 4, and that's just kind of what happens to bad DualShock 4s. Fourth take, I tried plugging in my GPD Win 2, which is where I played the majority of this game because it works really well there. Couldn't get that to record because my Elgato was having a fit and just would not let me do things the way I wanted to. So now this is take 5 on a Switch controller that's using Steam input because it doesn't recognize the Switch controller natively. Despite the fact that this game released on PC, PS4, Switch, Xbox One, and funnily enough, the Genesis. Because that is what this game was originally designed for. So we're going to play it and hope to God that the Switch controller inputs actually work. I'm able to change my marine on this screen, so that's a good start. Better than the 2 Xbox 360 controllers I have. Yes, official Xbox 360 controllers for some reason do not work in this game past the main menu. Do not ask me why, they just don't. Despite the fact that an emulated Xbox 360 controller on the GPD Win 2 worked perfectly. Whatever. So, you can pick your marine, but in any particular case, it doesn't matter. They just look and sound different. They play exactly the same. And they drop you straight in. So, I hadn't heard of this game until the day before I recorded this video, and the only reason I heard about it is because a bunch of retro gamers were popping up saying that this game was basically a Smash TV alike. I like Smash TV, so this was pretty much an instant go and check it out, and the trailers for it looked awesome. So... yes, of course I'll go and buy your game. It's $28.95 Australian, so that equals out to about 20 bucks. I did take the time to go and look up the prices for it on, like, Genesis as a physical cartridge, and they made me weep. I don't even own a Genesis to play it on, and I imagine that this game costs about the price of a Genesis, so it's really not fantastic, I must say. But yeah, let's actually talk about the gameplay, because it's the only thing that has actually allowed me to do 5 takes and like an hour's worth of wasted time on this game. Because it's, well, it's actually a really good one. So, the game is Xeno Crisis, and as I said, it's a Smash TV clone. It absolutely is. There's like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is Smash TV, more or less. I mean, there are some differences, but it plays almost the same. Walk into a room, enemies spawn in many different places, kill they ass. That's pretty much the long and the short of it. When you clear a room, you get to move on to the next. And it does that really, really well. There are a couple of things about it which are interesting though. The main thing being that the levels are prog gen. The waves, like the waves of enemies that you fight when you walk into a specific room layout is predetermined, but the actual game itself, entirely prog gen. Like, no shadow of a lie, it's all like picked at the beginning of the game. Like, you even get a seed in the pause menu. See? Bottom right. So, yeah, you walk into a random set of rooms every time, and it is an arcade game. They do give you 3 continues, but trust me, even with those 3 continues and the ability to buy more after every level, I still haven't reached the end of the game. So, they are not screwing around. This game is tough. So, yeah, you will not be making it to the end on your first try. They do give you a few things to ward off the inevitable death, though. The main example right now that I'm using is a spread shot gun. Because, hooray, they have spread shots. There are multiple different weapons. Oh, sweet, I didn't even take a hit on that one. That's what that achievement is. And yeah, the Switch controller is working way better. You have to go force Steam input on to make that work, by the way. But once you do that, the Switch controller is apparently the best way to play this game. Because as I said before, 360 controllers, for whatever reason, just don't work, naturally. And PS4 controllers just don't have digital triggers, so you can't effectively do dodge rolls. Alright. With that said though, you can also upgrade your character between levels, and this also gives them all their health back, which is actually surprisingly friendly for a game like this. There are a few things that this game does actually that are kind of friendly. But yeah. You get multiple different special weapons in this game. There's shotguns, spread guns, homing guns, a rocket launcher, a laser gun, which just cuts across the entire room and kills everything that it touches, and a BFG, which is just a big circular projectile that goes across the room killing everything that it touches. All of these special weapons in this game are super powerful, and most of them only last a certain amount of time, in seconds for the most part. And they last long enough to let you clear out 1 or 2 rooms most of the time, which is like usually good enough to make them feel not completely worthless. And yeah, most of them are instant kill on everything. Like, my gun is pretty powerful right now, but that's because I've upgraded it to the absolute maximum of its strength. So there is like, fuck, missed a tag, right? But yeah. Keycard, gonna need that to access the boss. But yeah, every special weapon in this game always feels like a treat, not only to pick up, but to actually use, because pretty much every special weapon in this game is useful. There is a button to discard special weapons, which is kind of cool in like some situations, like if you're surrounded by guys that are shooting you and you've only got a flamethrower. Very useful in that situation, but even then, you do want to try and get close to try and actually shoot the boss, to try and actually get the boss with the flamethrower, because the flamethrower is also ridiculously strong. It's better than pretty much everything else in short-range combat. You do also have some extra moves to help you out. You have a dodge roll, which can save you right at the brink of getting hit from something. Just, yeah, make sure you actually use it when you're playing, make sure you use a DualShock 4 when you're playing, or not a DualShock 4, I should say, when you're playing, just to make sure that you don't end up getting wiped out by the annoying little shits that is the DualShock 4's triggers. Yay, rank A again. This is starting to get a little bit weird. I've never gone 2 rank A's in a row before. I love the look on this alien's face. Look at it. It's like that is the best like oh shit look I've seen in a while.
Make your selection.
But anyway, let's upgrade. More health, please. And do I have enough to buy speed? I do. Let's buy speed. There are some different upgrades you can get. Health, power, ammo, and speed are all pretty obvious. Grenades and grenade power also pretty obvious. Elixir is just an extra continue. You want those. If you can afford them, you really do want them. And a gas mask, which will protect you from attacks starting from this stage we're about to go into, the Dunes. There are 7 stages, and as I've said before, even with 3 continues given to you by default, I still haven't managed to make it very far. I've only ever made it to stage 6. And just trust me, you will be using those continues. This is why I recommend doing a couple of things on your upgrade tree, but there are, like, I can't stop ya, but I fully recommend powering up your gun immediately, and then at the end of the second stage, getting as many lives as you can. Getting as much health as you can, because, trust me, whenever you have to continue, your health gets refilled to full, so getting 7 hits on every continue is way better than getting 4 hits on every continue. The game is also nice enough to provide you with things like health pickups every now and again, which is, like, you know, nice of the game, not to completely stiff you on healing. The game is a little bit cheeky with things like health pickups and grenade pickups, though, because you end up getting a lot of health and grenade pickups when you really don't need them. And it feels really cheeky. You do get a score bonus for when you pick up these pickups when you don't need them. But it also has this annoying tendency, as I said, to just make them a lot less likely when you do need them. Even if you're only like 1 below like your maximum like health or grenade count. There might be a reason for this. This is a high score shooter in like the green sense of the word, so it's entirely possible that they might do that just to like make it so that it's easy to get high scores. But I gotta tell you, man, it's a little frustrating going through the game, getting hit multiple times, and then not getting a single health pickup, but then as soon as you continue, like, no shadow of a lie, as soon as you continue, they spawn a health box, like, right next to you. It is the most frustrating thing imaginable when that happens, and I've had it happen at least twice. But yeah, they do give you a lot of pickups to work with otherwise, and it can help with your score. But I gotta tell you, man, you gotta be making as much use of your pickups as you possibly can, because this game is really hard. There's no shadow of a doubt about it. It's really difficult. You have to be on the move constantly. You have to be watching every single enemy they have on screen, because they are more than happy to screw you over with constant enemy spawns and just ones that will shoot you every which way if you so much as don't look in that direction for longer than a second. This can get kind of annoying in some situations, because some enemies in this game are more than happy to just drop in on you with like next to no warning. There are some enemies that this is okay with, like for example, yes, the rocket launcher, the second best weapon in the game. The laser is the best weapon in the game, but this still has its charm. But yeah, there are certain enemies in this game which absolutely love to just drop in on you, right? Like they're just like, hello, goodbye, and they just drop in, do some health damage to you, and then go about their business. I did not mean to throw that grenade. Great. And that's kind of annoying when you're low on health and then just an enemy decides to spawn right above you, and you don't notice that you're walking right into their shadow until they've already dropped in on you because you're busy focusing on the other 5 enemies that are on screen at any one particular time. Although there is a little bit of the game that is kind of genius in its design, because if you had infinite ammo in this game, it would make it a lot easier, because you could just stand in the corner, fire away, and eventually take everything out. But they give your main weapon limited ammo, But as you start to run low on it, you will have to go and pick up an ammo box that spawns on the level. And this ammo box will refill your ammo to full, no questions asked, but you still have to go get it. Which means that you have to be on the move constantly. Not being able to sit in a corner for too long at all is really one of this game's like major benefits. Like in Smash TV as an example, sitting in a corner camping and just trying to take out the massive wave of enemies that just spawned in was always a reasonable tactic, and that is something that also happens in certain like twin-stick shooters as well. But this game makes it so that you need to be on the move constantly. You need to be there to get supplies, get things like dog tags, get out of the way of things like gas attacks. Just see what I mean when I say they don't spawn any health when you really do need it. They're more than happy to spawn it when you don't, but when you do... Yeah, as I was saying. Yeah. The overall design of keeping you moving via just the simplest of things gives this game a lot more edge in comparison to other twin-stick shooters of its kind, because needing to stay moving constantly is just... It just makes this game that much more awesome. You do have a dodge roll, which you can use to get out of the way of any like particular thing. It does give you iframes, and a pretty generous amount of them actually. But it still won't save you from rolling directly into another enemy. Just trust me, that will not save you. You do also have, we've seen grenades already, and grenades are very useful if you know how to use them properly. And, well, I fully recommend that you do, for obvious reasons. Why are you asking me that question? That seems like a weird question to ask. Anyway. So, as I was saying... Yeah, you do have grenades, which are incredibly useful to learn, and... Like, I don't upgrade them personally, because I'm always focused on, like, speed and power and health, but, like, grenades are absolutely an option. There is very little in this game that isn't an option pretty much at all times. With that said, though, there is one thing that pretty much is never an option, and that is your melee attack. Because, yes, you do actually have a melee attack in this game. I just haven't used it because, like, it is the one thing in this game that is almost objectively useless. I'll show you why as soon as we respawn. Stage 3 without continue. Like, this is literally the final room in Stage 3, which is kind of annoying because you get your health back at the end of every stage, so I would have liked to have gotten my health back, but, you know, as I said, this game is super stingy with health when it realizes you're low on it, which is really frustrating. Yeah, rank E sounds about right. Alright, what can I upgrade? I could buy myself another continue, but ammo limit will be way more useful right now. There we go. Almost filled out on everything except for grenades, which I like, because it means that... Like, I've got, like, double the ammo in my gun now, which means I don't have to worry about getting ammo boxes anywhere near as much. Which, in a game like this, where they have this tendency to put them right in the middle of a wave of enemies that you really can't approach, makes it really frustrating. But yeah, as I was saying, the melee attack. The melee attack is useless. You just saw it right there. I'll show you it again a couple of times. So, that little hiss of a swing, that is your melee attack. And that is its entire range. So, in this stage in particular, it is practically useless. Because every enemy in this level, to be particular, has a reason to not go melee it. Those little those purple-headed things that just move erratically whenever you shoot them, imagine that when you're trying to melee them. Those things standing there that just shoot at you, imagine that, but you're up close and personal, so you have no time to dodge the shot. The red aliens that rush at you, they drop a little pool when they die, so if you walk into that pool, it damages you. I don't even think you can dodge roll through it. Like, even if you dodge roll through it, that will damage you. This is a thing that happens. And the aliens that are big brains that explode when they die, they explode when they die. So why would you melee them? And not to mention your range is so short that you have to be incredibly close to it. Like, we're talking able to suck on their nipples close. So you really, really need to be close to make any use of it. The only upside is that your melee attack starts going out when you're out of ammunition automatically. So if an alien decides to get up on you and you're just automatically holding the ammo, the shot button in the direction of that enemy because it's a smart thing to do. You can still do it even when you've got no ammunition. That might actually save your bacon once or twice, but yeah, melee is just like objectively useless. And they know this because the only way to get increased points off a kill is to get a melee attack in because melee attacks earn you double points. See? So, you know, screw you, right? Just anything to make the melee attacks even slightly more viable would be really appreciated because, man, it does not, like, it is not good. It does not help you out in most situations in the slightest. Frustrating as all hell, I gotta say. So this is the main mode, and again, I have played this for about 2 to 3 hours at this point. And I have not finished it. You don't unlock the extra bonus modes that the game has, which is an infinite mode, which just puts you in infinite rooms. At least one would assume, because this game is proc gen. It just chooses rooms for you. And the game is getting really generous with the health packs. This is so strange. It never does this. But yeah, I imagine that just puts you in, like, infinite rooms and just, like, lets you play those infinite rooms as far as you can take them, which is, you know, cool and all that. There is also a boss rush mode. But yeah, you'll mainly be here for this mode, which is like your main arcade mode. Really difficult. Pretty damn hard. Like, yeah, again, as I said before, 6 continues. I'm like level 6 with 3 continues. They aren't kidding around. I could play through on easy, but like, where's the fun in that? So at least the game's got a fair bit of longevity. It's also got a 2-player local co-op mode. No online on the PC or, I believe, even the console versions, unfortunately. So, you know, it'd be nice to be able to play that online, but I mean, with Steam's new, what do they call it? Remote Play Together feature? You could make that work if you felt the need. And your friend is close enough. But yeah, it's going to actually be pretty funny in 2-player co-op, I gotta say. Yeah, I hate this boss, by the way. It is, it's a bit of a dick. It's alright, we can continue. I have 1 continue left, which will actually get me through a... If I'm not stupid like that, it'll get me through a fair portion of the game. But yeah, 2-player local co-op would be great. That would actually be a lot of fun. Fuck, I hate these things. Thankfully, we are almost done here. I just need to finish him off, and he doesn't spawn any more of these things. And I get all my health back, so that would be nice. Just as the world is cat-free. But yeah, the game is gorgeous. That much is pretty obvious. It runs at a really good frame rate on basically anything. Like, you could take this gameplay footage as, like, representative of the Switch, PS4, and Xbox One versions, because, like, why wouldn't you? It's built on Unity in 2D, so that's probably the reason why it didn't come to the Vita. Rest in peace. Because, I mean, Jesus. Even with a game this simple, it would probably still run like shit on the Vita, because of course it would. It's Unity on Vita. But yeah, it looks gorgeous. The soundtrack and audio and just everything about it is also really good. The sound samples feel cheesy enough without getting, like, ridiculous. They do say there's over 40 types of enemies, but it's like a bunch of, like, specific types of enemies. They get harder as the game goes on. That's fine. They're varied enough as is. They give you enough interesting things going on to worry about without being too, like, indiscernible from the rest during gameplay. But yeah, despite the fact that the controller support is nonsense, I am actually quite enjoying it. I'd almost feel bad playing through the entire thing, because there are going to be some people out there that are going to be like, you know, what's the point of showing us the entire game? I'm not going to buy it now. You really should, because this is actually really damn good. It's actually kind of awesome. I'm getting my shit kicked in here, but with that being said, it really is kind of awesome. Not to mention, like, getting it on Switch would be really good, because you can just detach the Joy-Cons and do two-player play. You'd probably need to find some interesting ways to get things like the, you'd need to find interesting ways to get things like the discard button to work, but still. They made this game work on a Genesis. There's no way they can't make it work on a Switch Joy-Con, man. This will be my last continue. Oh, no, it's not. I bought one, didn't I? The achievements are also quite difficult. Like, get through an area without dodge rolling, get through an area without getting hit, get through a boss without getting hit. Although that one's actually pretty easy to do if you're playing on the first boss. But yeah, the whole good ending thing, yeah, that's probably going to take some time. Surrounded by shit and just getting buffeted by it. That is definitely this game in a nutshell.
Rescue the humans.
I think we'll end it, like, if I don't die, like, if I don't lose all my continues, we'll end it after this stage. We'll keep the last two set stages a surprise. I haven't even seen the last stage myself. I doubt I'd be able to make it through the lab. Like, consistently anyway. Still trying to get used to this whole thing. Bloody landmine. Gas is terrible. We get 7 more hits to make it through. Oh god, those things spawn gas clouds when they die. No wonder they've been popping up so frequently. Yeah, this is like the 3rd time I've made it here. I haven't been able to pay the closest attention to it. Great. Grenades. Grenades! Just throw the grenades! And there it goes. Right as I clear the room, I'm done. I'm dead. But yeah, that was a look at Xeno Crisis on PC. Don't buy it on PC because the controller support seems to be absolutely screwed right now. But if you're looking for a really enjoyable take on the Smash TV formula, which does some really simple things like always keeping you moving for things like ammunition and supplies, while also being a really good challenge in and of itself without being too hard to be unfair, I fully recommend this. Again, just don't buy it on PC. It will probably work absolutely fine on Switch, on PS4, on Xbox One. You can also go get it for like £15, which would probably be like 25 bucks for the Genesis ROM, which you could load onto either an emulator or onto the actual Genesis hardware. I have no idea how the game would play in that sense, but still, I enjoyed this quite a lot, and the only reason why I went through 5 takes of it is because I wanted to actually do a video of it on this channel to show it off, because, yeah, I actually really want this game to be successful, so hopefully at least the 200 or so views I get a video at this point actually do convince a couple of people to pick this one up. It's great. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.